Hello, you. How are you today? It is still before midnight on the 22nd. So let's talk a little quick this day in history, and then we'll get into kind of what the day was like. So this day in history, on this day in 1973, the Supreme Court declared that Roe v. Wade violated um, Roe v. Wade declared that infringing on a woman's right to abortion violated her rights, and so that was when you could not ban abortion at the time, um, from a federal sense. Now, there's still been states that have done very strict federal laws, but they couldn't outright ban it. It was protected federally as a woman's right of choice, whether you agree with it politically or not. And I'm not getting into whether I agree with it one way or another, although I don't agree with it. But I'm not going to get into the weeds on that. But that's got more to do with my beliefs that a life is a life, and it starts at conception. And you could comment and say you don't agree with me and call me names and whatever. I don't really care. If you're even watching it. So if you're not watching it, you probably don't care what I'm saying. Okay, so the other big noted thing in history is that on this day in 1788, Lord Byron, who's one of the most well-known poets, he's actually quoted in Dead Poets Society. If you've ever seen the movie Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams, there's a part where they read a poem where it says, "She walks in beauty like the night." That's Lord Byron. He's done another poem that I'm familiar with that I really like. I cannot remember it for some reason off the top of my head right now. I was doing a quick glance before I started this to see if I could figure out what it was, but it's escaping me right now. So those are two notable things that happened in history. So Lord Byron actually died very young. He was born in London, and he was born the 22nd of January, 1788, and then he died on April 19th of 1824 at the age of 36 from a fever. I don't know if it was related to, malaria or scarlet fever or whatever. I didn't see any more detail on that, but he did die very, very young. He died helping the Greeks fight for freedom, according to Britannica. So that's kind of interesting. I'd like to know a little bit more about that. But so those are two things that happened in history today. So last night when I recorded the video, or very early this morning when I recorded the video, I don't think I got too much into why I was so late in posting the video, and that was I was on the phone with a buddy of mine who I've known since 1996. So we're now, what is that? Gosh, 27 years now? We're heading on to 27 years now since I've known him. I actually met him because he was shooting an independent film, and I auditioned for it and was fortunate enough for. I beg your pardon. I don't mean to yawn. It's not boredom. It's just, you know, exhaustion. But I met Robert in 1996 when he cast me in his film called All Night Boogie. It was actually called The Wheel at the time, but ultimately he changed the name to All Night Boogie. And if you've ever seen any of the footage, you would know why I said it that way. All Night Boogie. That's what was based on a scene with a character in the film. Joe Koshin and Brian McGuire, great scene partners there. They did a great job in that. So anyways, it was really, a lot of the film was improv. I mean, he had a loose script for it, and, he had points he wanted to hit, but he was also open to improv and trying to expand the story and make it more appealing. And so it was a really great opportunity as an actor, especially as a young actor, because I was, 17 at the time, 17? No, 19 at the time. It was 19. To get to do that and to play around with the different potentials for characters and explore, that fun improv side. That was a great experience for a young actor. And I was doing a lot of acting back then. That was when I was really in my prime for acting. Did that, the early 90s all the way into 2005, and then I kind of just dropped off. I just dropped. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why I finally stopped, but I just kind of backed off. Life changed. I changed. And I just moved away from it, even though it remained performing and writing and storytelling remains a huge passion of mine. I just sort of walked away from it in a way, which I don't know why. But anyways, great memories connected to Robert, and then he and I remained friends. For all these years now. Robert actually has moved on to live in Los Angeles. He's lived there for over 10 years now, and has worked on countless projects. If you go look up Robert E. Murphy, you can find him. Excuse me. You can find Robert on IMDb, but he's done a number of movies. If you go look up In Search of a Midnight Kiss, Meet Me in Montenegro, those are the films that I know of specifically that I was involved with him with, as far as like knowing the director, who is Alex Holdridge. I wasn't in either one of those movies, but that has Skeet Ulrich. Don't think so, Kingsley. Scoot McNairy, who's become a rather established performer in the industry. And that was his first movie, was a movie called Wrong Numbers that the same director, Alex Holdridge, did. And it became, it did well on the independent film festival circuit. And then there's a movie that's called Superbad that's pretty much a ripoff, if you want to call it, of Wrong Numbers. They basically took the whole concept of Wrong Numbers and, just made a movie out of it with different people, and didn't give Alex credit for that script and what he wrote. But that's a whole other conversation. So, but I've known Robert for years. He's been, you probably hear my puppy snoring. Puppy snoring. Puppy snoring. Snoring. So cute. They're snoring over there. They're so beautiful. So beautiful over there. I love my dogs. They're so beautiful, such spirited, wonderful spirits. There's my bear. Hi, baby. Are you hungry? Want to get some food in a little bit? Oh, you're so beautiful. I love you, Amadeus. I love you, Simba. So beautiful. Such a spirit. He just wakes up so happy. I'm so glad he's okay. Last night his seizure scared. Yesterday his seizure scared me. I love you, Amadeus. I love you, you special angel. You special boy. God, I'm so lucky to have him. Baby bear. My special baby. Let's see his face. Here's a big bear. I love you, baby bear. He's my good boy. So Robert and I have known each other for years. He lives in LA now. If you want to look him up on IMDb. He has a lot more credits. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I hate doing that, yawning like that when I'm doing a video. It seems very rude. But look him up. Robert's a very talented filmmaker and writer and actor in his own right, and director. He's kind of a Robert of all trades. So, anyways, I've known him for years, and he and I were talking on the phone for a couple of hours last night. And one of the things we've kind of contemplated trying to do is to go either do a Vegas trip, because I've never actually been to Vegas, or to go to Disneyland again and kind of do the Star Wars section. I kind of want to do the Vegas thing more, because I'd really like to go to Vegas. I've never been there. I've been to Disneyland with Robert, and I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed the experience, but just to do something different, I'd like to go out to Vegas and, experience that. I was talking to him for a couple of hours. We were just kind of talking about, where he's at, what he's doing. He went to actually a part of Mexico called Yucatan, the Yucatan area of Mexico, and actually saw where the people who consider themselves to be the Mayans live. And he says it's, this little small town, and a premiere or a screening of a film that he did there. Excuse me. The director had it actually dubbed into Spanish. This is so rude. I'm so sorry. Actually had it dubbed into Spanish so that he could show it to these people and let them have an experience and, bring some fun to that small village, which I think was like 500 people, Robert said. And he said it was an interesting experience. He learned some different things about, the people and the area of it. And then he's been doing research for a script he's writing, which I won't talk about his script because that's, his private work. But he's working on a script for a film he wants to shoot, and I'm sure he'll get it done. Robert's really got some really interesting perspectives. He and I don't necessarily see eye to eye politically, but we really don't try to get too much into the politics of it because all it does is just create tension between people, and we have too much of a friendship to worry about the differences we have in politics. I mean, I don't think in the end of the day, the goal is for one of us to destroy the world and the other one to, for either one of us to have the perspective of we want to destroy the world. I think it's just we have different perspectives on how we think the world will be the most successful. And, and he's entitled to his opinion as much as I'm entitled to mine. And, you shouldn't let your political views stop you from being friends with people you've known for years because people change over time. I mean, people evolve to whatever they want to evolve to, and you don't have to agree with them. It's not, priority for a friendship. You agree on everything. I mean, part of the pleasure of a friendship is learning different things from each other. So, because Robert's very associated with the liberal movement, and I'm, more of a conservative, fiscal conservative, definitely, and more of a I'm moderate when it comes to social policies, but I would say probably moderate conservative. Anyways, so it was great catching up with him. That's why it took so long last night before I got to make that video. But I was grateful for the time. I'll never be sad that I posted a video late because I'm more interested in that time with the people who have value to me and who I care about, and Robert's definitely one of those people. So today I endeavored into one of Marie's boxes that was full of paperwork. It was scattered in the whole box with all a bunch of stuff. I've done some paperwork before, but this one was like a hodgepodge of receipts and business cards and half sheets and full sheets, and I was just trying to make it organized in some way so that it wasn't a big hodgepodge of just insanity that just dumped into a box, right? So I was kind of organizing it, stacking papers reasonably, and then, organizing the little receipts, folding them, putting them in a Ziploc, the business cards in a Ziploc. So that way, if she ever chooses to go and organize them and look at them, she could open it up, look at the paperwork, organize it, do whatever she wants to do with it. And it'll be a lot more of an organized approach to her stuff, which is, hopefully the goal is to get things organized ultimately. Excuse me, I got issues with my right eye and a prosthetic there. When I get a lot of dust and stuff like that in me, in my face or whatever, it really messes with like my eyes and my nose. As a matter of fact, for the last couple of days, I have not been able to sneeze. And I think it's a buildup of so much dust that it's like clogged my head. So I can't even, or my sinuses, rather, I cannot even like sneeze right now. I'll get like, it'll just filter off. Like it hit a wall and just, it was like a wave that hit a wall and then just died. So that's a little stressful because I really want to get that stuff out of my system and I need to blow it out. So I need to have like a giant sneeze and just like launch across the room, which sounds really gross, but if I can just get that dust out of my system, I'll be happy. So I did that today. That took a lot of the day because I was sitting there organizing little papers, folding them to try and make sure it wasn't just crinkled garbage all over the place. And I know it's not my stuff, but I guess I try to treat things like they're mine, when I'm doing things like that so that I can make it look nice and make it look organized and make it easier to access later. So I'm really meticulous with how I kind of fold things and try to make sure at least they're folded evenly and flat and put them away. And that took most of the day, that box, but at least I got it cleaned out and got it organized into a bin. It only took up half a bin, well, maybe about 60% of a bin. And then I was able to put some of her Christmas items that were already wrapped into it. So those are good things. I got that box done. She has now 9 crates. She started with 53 boxes that were sent back here. There is now, I've now got, there's now 2 boxes that are printers, and there's a record player that's not in any containers, but there is a, but now she has her, there's 9 crates and 2 boxes. And there's still another box with a small amount of stuff. I think I can get all this stuff into 10 crates. So the next thing is going to be a record player, some records, and then like a Mickey Mouse phone that she has, and some other things. But I think I can get it all in 10 crates. So 10 crates plus 2 boxes. So that will be like significantly less than what she had when she shipped it. So it will be a lot easier to maintain and to track and to move it around versus all those filthy, dirty boxes that had dust all over them. And hopefully that'll be good and benefit her. So in the future, so those are good things that are happening. So it was a productive day. Kind of tired though. I felt pretty tired throughout the day. I need to feed these puppies here because they're hungry, I'm sure. And it's definitely a little later than I'd like it to be to feed them. But I hope you're doing well. God bless you. Keep you safe. I believe whatever you set your mind to, you can accomplish. Be happy. Be joyful. Be grateful for the moments you have, for the day you have, for life. These moments will never come again, so do the most you can with them to make them have value for you. Help other people if you can, because remember, one day you won't be here and there will be other people here, so pay it forward and help other people. I'm not saying that you should take care of other people, because people have to have a responsibility to take care of themselves. But there's sometimes that even when they're trying to do their best to take care of themselves, they still need that little extra amount of help. And that's where we should step in to support them. We shouldn't support people because they don't want to do anything, but because they're doing their best, but they still aren't, they still need that little extra support. But we want to make sure we help people to help themselves. The old saying, give a man a fish and he eats for a day, teach him to fish and he eats for a lifetime. It's the same perspective here. So help people, do good things. I'll take a drink here. Definitely a little parched. Okay, be good. Have a great night. I think I mentioned everything. Yeah, I think I mentioned everything for the day. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well, be blessed, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.